A local organization in Bradford County is one of a few in Pennsylvania set to receive state funding with the goal of decreasing domestic violence and increasing community safety. 12 News' Daniel Curran learned how SAFE hopes to use its incoming funding.
The Pennsylvania state legislature recently approved $45 million in grant money for its violence intervention and prevention program across the state. Lieutenant Governor Austin Davis says this comes at a time where homicides have decreased, but gun-related domestic violence homicides have increased in Pennsylvania in the last 2 years.
These programs and strategies, they work. We need to learn to get them into more communities across Pennsylvania, which is why we need to increase the investments in the VIP program, as well as the new Boost initiative, which supports after-school programs and out-of-school time for our young people.
Supporting Area Families Every Day, or SAFE in Bradford County, was one of 66 recipients of VIP grant funding across the state. With over $125,000 being invested into the facility, Davis says SAFE was awarded based on its importance to the community.
No matter where you're at, sometimes issues look differently. Issues of violence look different depending on if you're in Bradford County versus Allegheny County or Philadelphia County. And I think it stood out that they are meeting a significant need here in Bradford County.
SAFE was one of 190 organizations to apply for this funding. Since 2017, it has been successful in assisting separated families with a safe space for custody exchanges and with parenting classes.
The efforts of SAFE break the links of chains of abuse, neglect, indifference, anger, fear, pain that research has shown stifles creativity, productivity, and wellness in children and adults alike.
Governor Josh Shapiro's proposed state budget calls for a $10 million funding increase for the VIP program. Officials with SAFE say they hope to use the state funds to invest in more space and the ability to serve more people. Daniel Curran, 12 News, Bradford County.